Hello and welcome to another update video about Cardano. Again, in this video we're going to take a look at what the Cardano price is doing. We are doing a technical analysis update, and before we start we take a quick look at Bitcoin. Thanks again for everybody who has subscribed actually as a member already to the channel. As a member you get at least a weekly live stream and access to the chat groups and Telegram and Discord. And again, I'm overwhelmed by the positive and the appreciative feedback that I get from you guys and all the likes and comments, and really please continue to do so that the channel can grow and at some point I can do this full time, which would be great. So let's start with Bitcoin. Bitcoin did not manage to keep above or to stay above 44,000. That was for me a key level for getting further up. Obviously there was an attempted breakout to the upside, made a slightly higher high compared to that one, also obviously here, and we had actually that breakout that we saw coming because we had this breakout build up coming, making higher highs, making higher lows. Sellers couldn't really push the price away from that horizontal resistance line again anymore, and we actually did already an attempted breakout here and failed, and then continued to go up. And however, we are sort of failing here at the moment. We can't really get through. You could also sort of draw a trend line, or a resistance line somewhere here, probably at that former high that we had, and that was probably that breakout here. But essentially we need to get above the 44,000 because that is essentially the key support line that we had back here when we formed that when we were in this channel here. But what we also had was this descending support line here, which is in my opinion still in play, because what we can see, we had 3 touches here, 1, 2 and 3, and back here again, we came down nearly to that line and we had 100% match here. We hit that support line, so that's in my opinion still at play. So what could actually happen is we drop further down once more and maybe find some more support here. And again, let's go to Cardano, because that's essentially what you guys are all here for. We'll start at the daily, and with the latest move I think we can add a trend line here to this chart on the daily to remind ourselves. What you can see is this descending triangle that we had, where we dropped after we got into the apex, pretty much that breakout formation to the downside, and then we had that breakout to the downside. Now we tried to get back up, didn't make a new high. We are still in this downtrend, even though it looked like we were getting back up. But in my view, that scenario that I told you about, that we can still drop once more down to like 180, 185, I think is still at play here. Because as long as we don't get above that level and don't make it above 230 anyway, that's the horizontal support line here, or now resistance line. But as long as we also stay below that descending trend line, which we are at the moment, because you can see where that candle is currently sitting, and we can take a closer look at the hourly chart, but we're currently at 220. We need to get and stay above 225 at the moment, but bear in mind every day that line is going down and down and down. So if we stay below that line, which we can clearly see here we are doing at the moment, there have been a few attempted breakouts to the upside, but they all failed. And there was another one here today and it failed, so that could then push us down further to potentially that 185 level we've been talking about previously. But what I also need to say, we already hit the price target pretty much that I gave you when we were up here. So it could go either way. I'm honest with you. We need the price target is fulfilled already. But what I say is that scenario that we go down once more is still on the table. It's still on the plate, still a possibility. I can't see the higher highs that we need to see here at the moment. However, we are still above the 200-day moving average, which is good. However, we are below the 50-day moving average. And what can we see on the RSI? We don't make higher highs here, so we can't see anything like a bullish divergence forming on the daily yet. We did see it on the hourly and the 4-hour, but we can't see it on the daily yet. The indicators and the oscillators aren't looking great. And also here, that even though it was a very nice and huge green pump, which is a good sign, and we found very strong buyer support down here, we still haven't made a higher candle. So I would have loved yesterday to see that green candle actually closing above that one. but it didn't. It closed below, and now that red candle here is below that descending trend line. So let's go into the hourly chart. That is where we can see a little bit more. So what essentially we can see here today, coming from the daily, going to the hourly, we can see that if that trend line stays in place, that is where we had the attempted breakouts here once, twice, here 3 times. There was another one, and here again. Today we broke above it, but we failed. We're on our way down again, and this is a critical level. Exactly, we can see it here now where that line is running. That is at 222 pretty much at the moment. So we are below it at the moment, and yeah, we need to stay above it in order to continue the uptrend. It is a well-defined descending trend line, which actually started up here somewhere in the beginning of September. So it is quite a significant one. It is also the same trend line that pushed us down when we had the descending triangle break here to the downside, and we had this potential reversal pattern, but failed really so far to reverse that downtrend, because we still are in the downtrend, because we currently are below that descending below that descending trend line. So it's something to be aware of, guys, and at some point we might also be able to draw a horizontal line here, maybe where we had the last support, maybe on the daily. I might add that later today. I need to have an exact look where that line might be running, and then have a big descending triangle, but hopefully that will not break to the downside, because that could us really take much further down. But essentially what could happen is, you remember that 185 price target. So what could happen if we have actually something like a channel here forming at the moment, because you have these 3 or one low here, another lower low, and a lower low, which creates pretty much a parallel line to that trend line here. So you have something like a channel. So it could be a possibility to, for example, drop down once more now, and maybe exactly go to that 185 level or whatever that we talked about previously, or even a little bit lower, and then bounce off and hopefully continue our way to the upside. And I did say that for everybody who's new to this channel, we've been talking about this C correction based on the Elliott Wave method, and we are apparently, in my opinion, still in that C correction. As long as we don't get a really impulsive move to the upside that would take us way above where we are currently, I still see that C correction forming, which means at some point we will need to go lower here again, and at the lowest point there will then be the reversal, and we will continue our way to the upside to a price target of at least 450 in the next few months. I'll still stick with that. We've got exciting things coming up, the summit as well. I think some very exciting news will be announced, as it seems. And they've got this virtual world coming up, which I might talk about a little bit longer in this in the later update today. I think it is quite innovative, really interesting what they might be coming up for the weekend. So that is pretty much the update. So it is going down a little bit at the moment. We need to watch that trend line. I think it's a good orientation that we have here with that trend line, and that sort of is in line with that scenario that we could go down once more. But I know there are a few people who said, I need that drop. I need that drop because I sold already at $2. Well, these drops are never guaranteed, but it seems quite likely to me that we haven't built that momentum yet to push really to the upside, especially as Bitcoin couldn't really manifest above 44,000. But anything can happen. So if we break above 44 and actually close the daily above that, I think that would be rather bullish. And the market, in my opinion, hasn't really decided what it's going to do now, but we've got clearly 2 clear levels here, that target here for Cardano, and then we did say we need to get above that support line here, which is on the other chart here at 230, to get above this line, which was the support line of this descending triangle. Alright, so hopefully that was a useful update. Hope you liked it. If you did, please smash the like button, and if you want to follow me on this crypto journey, then please subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.